Hi everybody, Kaiwaza with you. Welcome to the season finale of Cheap Lounge. Season 4, season finale. Yes, we made it to our 25th episode of season 4. Good news also, we will be renewed. We will be continuing with the season 5 per the upper powers that be, which would be me. I said, yeah, okay, let's keep going. But today, the season finale of Cheap Lounge, the show where we discuss cheap lounge records that have been procured and played for my easy listening hobby station on live365.com called Moody Mood Music, which will be linked below, and you can listen to that anytime, night or day. And today we're just going to talk about a few records, and then I'll have more that I'm not going to talk about, but we'll just show you, and we'll do needle drops on all of them. Okay? How's it going? It's a beautiful day today. I'm not working, and when I'm done with this, because it's just 10 o'clock in the morning now, having my coffee, and when I finish this video, I'm going to go to the beach today. It's a beautiful day. All right, let's begin with, we've shown a record by him before, Helmut, Licht. But it was Ballroom Dances 1. This is Ballroom Dances 2. And private release, Mandala Records, Mandala, out of Baltimore, Maryland. And these are ballroom dancing records. But he composed all of the songs on this one, and I believe on the previous one also. It's kind of a small combo, small band. Cute, there's little synthesizers involved also. And I just appreciate the effort when somebody does something with all originals. I really like that. I mean, of course, I love the standards, but I love to hear, people writing their own music. 1982, this is from, and especially interesting that it is signed by the author or by the artist with a note that says, Dear George, I'm sorry to hear that one of my albums was defective. This is a good one. Well, that's a matter of opinion. Thank you for your patience, Helmut Licht. I love the history. I wish, don't you wish these records could talk? You could press a little button and they could just tell you all their stories from 1982, from when they left the factory, who they've been owned by and played by and whatever. Here's one. Okay, I'll confess this one actually didn't get uploaded to Moody Mood Music. Songs from this record were put on Gauguin Gardens, which is my station. That's sort of a salute to the artistic village idea of Paul Gauguin in old Tahiti that never actually ended up happening, but it's sort of a mishmash of Polynesian, Tahitian music, drumming, sounds of nature, Cafe Del Mar kind of White Lotus music, and old cha-cha records and whatever. So this was a 10-inch from Plymouth, budget label Plymouth Records, called A Half Hour of Rhumbas. Love the cover, love the artwork. They list no artist on this whatsoever. However, I do have a 12-inch record from Plymouth Records with some of these same songs on it. That is listed as being by the Plymouth Latin Orchestra, but I mean, that's kind of that's just a fake name as well, because I also have a record by the Plymouth Hawaiian Orchestra. There was no Plymouth Hawaiian Orchestra. They're just made up names for studio recordings. Very enjoyable record though, 1952. This is from, really love it. Some are instrumentals, some are singing. There's a man and a woman singing. The guy does, especially on the song Babalu, really does kind of sound like Desi Arnaz. I do have some recordings of Desi Arnaz. Babalu was kind of a big hit for him. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he does kind of sound like Desi Arnaz. And there's a female, and sometimes some of her songs are English lyrics. But there's Rumba Serenade, Rumba Jubilee, Rumba Rhapsody, I, Rumba, Blue Rumba, and Boogie Woogie Bongo Man Tom Tom. It's great stuff, and like I said, this one went on to Gauguin Gardens, if you want to check that. I'll link that also below, because as well, this one, some of these cha-cha kind of like records, Afro Can, great record, Jack Costanzo. I think a couple of songs were on Moody Mood Music, and then I put some other ones from here on Gauguin Gardens, because they kind of fit that. I have a couple Jack Costanzo records that I've run across, and they're quite good. Like, I really like him. A little tongue-in-cheek, but some really groovy, kind of cool Latin dance sounds. This one, they give a treatment to the Can Overture, but I love the song Snake Dance on here in particular. It's really almost like a Martin Denny, C. Zentner exotica number. I mean, it's quite exotic sounding. We like it. Now we're gonna talk about this guy. I don't even know what to say. So much to say. Sometimes you just really fall in love with a voice, or you're really moved by a voice, and that's the case with this artist. It's a Greek artist. You all know, if you've watched past videos, I love Nana Mouskouri, who was from Greece. Love her voice, love her music. This guy is also Greek. I'm gonna say not very well known in the States. I'd be curious if any of you out there had heard of him or know of him, you know, from anything other than sort of digging obscurities, like if you've ever just in the popular realm heard this name, because I have not. In the States, in Europe, I'm sure they would have, but I'm talking about Demis Roussos. This particular album, My Only Fascination, 1982 or something, I think this is. 74. Not well known in the States. He is Egyptian. I mean, he's Greek. Born in Egypt. His family moved to Egypt. And he was born and mostly raised there as a child, but then the family moved back to Greece after the Suez Canal crisis in 1956. And both his parents are musical and theatrical, so I guess kind of naturally he got involved in music, and by 17 he was in bands. Most notably, he was in this is not my kind of music, but he was in a progressive rock band that got to be fairly well known called Aphrodite's Child, and I guess that's where people, at least in Europe, knew him more from. Also, one of his friends in that band, or I think it was in that band, if not one of the other bands he was in at that time, that he became somewhat lifelong friends with, was the artist we know as Vangelis. Yeah, so, and they did work together in the future after he was solo. But this guy has the most amazing voice, and I really mean it. Like, it's just an amazing, gravelly, so strong, and he could hit these higher notes, and it's beautiful. I mean, it just, you know, it gives you chicken skin, right? Or goosebumps or whatever when you hear that, and you just go, ooh. And he became known because he went solo. He did work with these bands and did this progressive rock stuff, and then at some point he just kind of went solo, did his own thing, went more in a pop, easy listening-ish kind of direction. Found a really good market there. He sold over 60 million albums sold, so that's quite a bit. Again, these are all mostly in Europe. In the 60s, 70s. And he If you watch some of his videos, I mean, I would say when somebody said some of these articles would say he was a sex symbol, I thought, yeah, not really, but I mean, kind of, because, yeah, I sort of get it. I mean, he's just this chubby guy that wears a caftan most of the time. He's actually wearing caftans during performances. There's an amazing performance of him with Nana Mouskouri. That's where I first heard of him. There's a video of it, and they're singing a traditional Greek song together. Just gives me chicken skin. I'm going to link that up here, you guys. Please, please check that out. It's a really long Greek name. I can't, but it's incredible. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's a really beautiful, upbeat Greek folk song that he's just belting out these notes. And even Nana Mouskouri is kind of looking at him like, wow, you know. But yeah, he's this, chubby guy wearing a caftan, but it's true. I mean, I get it. Like, you hear that voice and you swoon. I mean, it just like, wow, amazing guy, amazing voice, beautiful record. So yeah, 1971, he started his final, 71, he started doing solo albums, 1971, and his final solo album was recorded in 2009. He passed away in 2019 of several different kinds of cancer he had. And during his career, he recorded over 30 albums. So interesting that we in the United States don't really hear him, don't really know about him. I was quite surprised to find this record in a dollar. I don't remember where I got it, but it was in a cheapo dollar bin, dollar or two somewhere, because it's in good condition. And I was just thought, wow, Demis Roussos. He's actually somebody that I'm going to start looking for the regularly priced records, because I don't think they're going to show up in the dollar bins that much, but I think he's worth seeking out. This album, I particularly love the song Lovely Lady of Arcadia. Oh, it's just so pretty, but everything on here is great. I love Demis Roussos. You gotta check the guy out. Check the guy out. Okay, here next is an album that I think falls in the category of like, why bother? Why did they bother? I mean, after some investigating, I guess I understand why they bothered, but I just think the overall, I don't know how it was really received commercially, but to me, I would be like, okay, it's a pass for me on this one. I mean, of course, for a buck or two, I'm going to get it. And it's not like there's anything wrong with the music. There's nothing wrong with the music. It is Mary Martin Sings the Sound of Music, Rodgers and Hammerstein. No effort was spared on the artwork for this album. It's on Disneyland Records, which is what I thought was interesting. There is Miss Martin. I'll admit my ignorance kind of on this subject, but when I first saw it, I thought, like, why did they bother? Like, why would Disneyland bother doing Mary Martin doing the Sound of Music? You know what I mean? Like, why did they do this record? We all know it's Julie Andrews that people want to hear doing the Sound of Music. Like, right? That was my thinking. Like, why are they doing this? And then they're cashing in. When was this done? I'm like, 1966. Okay, that's when the Sound of Music film came out with Julie Andrews, and they're probably cashing in on that. Well, it is kind of a cash-in record, but I hate to admit my ignorance or not quite putting two and two together and realizing that Mary Martin was in the original Sound of Music on Broadway. She was the role we associate with Julie Andrews, like that's what she was on Broadway for like 4 years or whatever, that it ran a long time. She was in the Sound of Music on Broadway. And of course, there was a Broadway cast album that was successful of that, featuring Mary Martin and everyone else on the cast. And I thought to myself, like, okay, I got that, but like, why are you redoing it? And it's because in 66, the Sound of Music movie came out. The soundtrack came out from the film with Julie Andrews and that cast, and that was wildly successful. Sound of Music was wildly successful as a film. Came out during the Christmas season. And I'm sure Disneyland was like, well, we need to get in on this action here because we don't have it, we can get Mary Martin. Like, let's redo the songs with Mary Martin. But the thing is, if they had really done that, it would have been okay. But this is like a budget label record because the recordings are fine. It's Mary Martin and some people being the children singing songs. But they're only singing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs. They do Sound of Music twice, once with her and once with some random guy, we don't know who, as a reprise. And then the other songs, like this. And it's not like they're long versions. I mean, if you do this and you do like 8-minute versions of something or whatever, I understand, but they're not. These are like 2-minute songs. These are literally like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, these songs, this whole album is 22 minutes long. Okay? You're like, so you got Mary Martin in the studio and you got her, whatever you did, and she's singing these songs, but there's only a few couple, there's only like 8 of them, 7 or 8 of them. They're all short. It's not like they're long versions or whatever. It's literally like one of those wine coat, budget labels where they just, you're like, okay, how much did people pay for this? Like, what's this? And we were curious. I was talking with my friend Scott too. We were curious about Disneyland records because I hadn't really thought about it that much. But I'm like, did they even sell Disneyland records in record stores, or did they only sell them at the park? And how inconvenient would that be, buying a record and carrying it around all day in July in California, trying not to break it. But no. Turns out they did sell their records in the park. They did sell Disneyland records at Disneyland, but they did also sell them in record shops. So they were available out in the public. And when I think about it, I did have a Peter Pan record when I was a kid that we never went to Disney World or Disneyland, so we had to have picked it up somewhere at a record store. Yeah. So this one, it was Tutti Camerata, who was the involved with whatever A&R, I guess, with Disneyland Records, who had the idea, like, let's redo Sound of Music because it's a big hit now. Let's just get Mary Martin back and let's do some music. And that was his idea, and he's kind of behind the orchestration of this and whatnot. They did. And it makes more sense when I realize also that this music was also released at the same time as like a storyteller book and record for kids. When they have the little records, I think they were like 45s, and there might be a couple in there, and the book that had the pictures and like, oh, the Sound of Music, and then you play the little record. Kind of makes sense now that, okay, so they didn't want a full-length album, to do a storyteller on. They wanted 5 or 6 songs or something. And they also said, why don't we just do it as a regular LP also for adults, adult-oriented, even though it's exactly the same music. So that's what they did. So, okay. Yo, Disneyland Records, it's kind of like you dip it into the budget label practices, kind of. I think like you should have filled that record out. 22 minutes is not. I don't know. Maybe it's sold really cheap originally. I don't know. Disneyland Records, by the way, eventually changed their name to Walt Disney. What is it? Walt Disney Walt Disney Records, because they had Disney World in Florida and all of that. Walt Disney Records actually still exists, although they're not doing records. They just have rights to music and are doing some soundtrack work and whatever. But yeah, the company technically still exists as Walt Disney Records. All right. And I'll just mention very quickly, Valiant Records, budget label we don't see very often. I don't run across it a lot. I mean, it's out there like Spinorama and Promenade and Crown and all that. It's a budget label. Kind of did the similar releases to most of the other budget labels. I was curious about this one, so I got it. Let's Dance to the Hits of My Fair Lady. Again, it's a deceptive practice, but I kind of dig it. Where they're listing Broadway Theater Orchestra is the fictitious name of the artist. They're listing all these songs from My Fair Lady, and also a program of Broadway and Manhattan melodies. So what happens when you actually listen to it and look at it, even the cover is deceiving. It says My Fair Lady on side A with 7 selections, and at the end it says finale. But if you look at it, you can see it's one long medley and a shorter piece. And I just thought, okay, well, the finale must be this separate thing. No, it's not. When you play it, it's all instrumental. It's orchestra medley that's like 12 minutes long. The finale is actually music not from My Fair Lady at all. It's Toyland and March of the Toys as a medley, which came out of Babes in Toyland, which was a kind of a turn-of-the-century musical, I think set at Christmas partially. I've never seen it, but I think it's partially set at Christmas because the songs Toyland and March of the Toys, some of the songs from that are often on Christmas records and associated with Christmas records, although they technically are not Christmas songs. This is a medley of Toyland and March of the Toys. A perfectly serviceable, nice one. And whether that actually was the finale to Babes in Toyland, I highly doubt it, that it was just 2 songs in full was the medley. They're just making up crapola here. And then I love side B is Manhattan melodies, and then these are just instrumental songs that have nothing to do with My Fair Lady. They're just their own, compositions. I did look this up, and I see that there is an album, I think, called, A Day in New York or Visit to Manhattan or something like that. And it has these and some other original songs about the New York City. And I'm sure they just took, these from that one and got a hold of a medley of My Fair Lady and then said, I don't know, what are we gonna do for a finale? Let's just stick something else that's kind of public domain at this point on there. And then we have voila, My Fair Lady. Let's listen to the hits from My Fair Lady. I love these budget labels. I really do. I have a soft spot for them. They're like snake oil salesmen, and I'm kind of here for it. I don't know. Let's listen to samples from these and some from... Let's listen to some samples from these and some other records that I've uploaded recently onto Moody Mood Music.
Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make a
upon a time, a girl with moonlight in her eyes put her hand in mine and said,
Evening shadows make me blue when each weary day is through. How I long to be with you, my Edelweiss, Edelweiss. Every morning you greet me, small and white. Lovely lady of Arcadia, promise you will wait for me. In your arms I found my Shangri-La. Babaloo, Babaloo,
E baba, e baba, e babaloo, aye.
Babaloo, Babaloo,
No, babaloo, aye.
Babaloo, Babaloo,
Yo, people, that's it. The end. The end of season 4. Episode 25. Thank you all for going on this journey, this musical journey with me as we listen record by record to my entire collection of cheapy dollar bin records that I don't even know how many I have. More than 1,000, I'm sure, as we go through them gradually. So thank you for coming along with me. I hope you're here for the next season, season 5. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be so different. No, it's not. Well, let me ask you that. Since we're at the end of season 4, please down below if you have any thoughts or feelings or ideas about what would you like to see different. Are there different? I will not take offense. Trust me. I have very, very thick skin. Are there changes that you would like to see? Maybe you don't want me to talk as much and you just want me to show more of the music, more of the record labels, more of the physical product, and just hear more of a sample. Maybe you want, I don't know what you want. I don't know. Let me know any ideas you have that you would like to see on Cheap Lounge, any changes you'd like to see made. I will consider them. Okay? All right. And comment on any of these records or these subjects we've talked about today. Love to hear from you. Okay, I'm gonna finish my coffee, take off this tie, and go to the beach. Have a good day.